اللهم صل وسلم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد. خل المقادير تمضي لا تغالبها، فإن من غالب الأقدار مغلوب. إن القضاء لسيف لا يقاومه شيء من الخلق إلا وهو محبوب. وامشي رويدا مع الأقدار في مهل، فإن من يكره الأقدار متعوب. سلم وفوض لحكم الله محتسبا، فإنما الأمر مقضي ومكتوب. والله يقضي بما شاء وكيف يشاء، والعبد عبد ومخلوق ومربوب. ولم يزل ربه الرحمن يكلأه، باللطف والحفظ محفوف ومصحوب. حسن ظنون.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Alhamdulillah, we begin by praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for this opportunity to continue our lessons in the Muqaddimah Hadramiyyah. It has been some time that I do not do a video recording because any of on-site class that we have. But maybe from now on we'll return back to our video recording. And so far we have covered a few chapters before this. And today inshallah ta'ala we will enter into the chapter pertaining to the Eid prayers. So in our lesson last week or the previous week, we were speaking about the end of the chapter of the Jumu'ah prayers. So going back into our book, we also spoke about Salatul Khawf. That is the last thing that we mentioned in our last lesson. So today inshallah we are going to speak about the Eid prayers. So the word Eid comes from the word Ada Ya'udu. Ada Ya'udu. In the Arabic language, Ada meaning something that returns, because Eid is something that always returns yearly. So that is why when in the Arabic language, when we use the word Eid, it refers to something that returns. So in Islam, there are two Eid, this festive season that our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught us the significance. We have an Eidul Fitri and Eidul Adha. So Eidul Fitri, it has a relation with Al Fitr, that is the breaking of fast, because of the obligation of Ramadan, fasting the month of Ramadan. So the last day of fasting is a celebration of our success in observing the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in refraining from the things that break our fast. And then we have Eidul Adha, and this is has relation with Al-Udhiyah, animals that are slaughtered for sacrifice to attain the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the author mentioned the ruling pertaining to the prayer. Here we are speaking about the Eid prayer, whether it is Eidul Fitri or Eidul Adha. So he said here sunnatun. In our madhab Imam Shafi'i, it is sunnah. There are differences whether it's wajib. Is it wajib in your sunnah? In our madhab, it is sunnah mu'akkada, and it is a confirmed sunnah, something that the Prophet ﷺ never missed praying in. Wa waqtuha ba'da tulu'i syamsi ila zawal, and the time that we can perform the Eid prayer is when the rising of the sun. When the sun rises, this is the time that it is permissible for us to perform the Eid prayer. But of course it is recommended, as what the author mentioned here, sunnah for us to perform the prayers at a later time. This is what he mentioned. وَيُسَنُّ تَأْخِيرُهَا إِلَى الْإِرْتِفَاعِ. that we what you call it that when the sun has risen up after any some time, and after any the timing any of the shuruk, and especially which is any waqtul haram, then this is any the time any the sunnah any for us any to perform the Eid any prayers. وَفِعْلُهَا فِي الْمَسْجِدِ إِلَّا إِذَا ضَاقَ. It is a sunnah you need to perform the prayer any in the masjid, unless any if the masjid is small, and then only any we perform the Eid any prayer any in the open space, whether in the desert or in the open field. Now that is better. That if we can gather any a lot of people any in one place, that is better, because that will make any the reason inshallah that we attain unity any of hearts, any Muslims any gather in one place, making dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with one voice and praying with one imam. That is any better any than we pray in different any places. Then he mentioned وَأَحْيَاءُ لَيْلَتَيْهِمَا بِالْعِبَادَةِ. It is also a sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that our Prophet and he encourage that when comes any to the night, when the night any of Eid, it is a sunnah any that we enliven any the night, any with ibadah, and enliven any the night by making any ibadah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And there is a hadith where the Prophet mentioned, Man ahya laylatal Eid ahya Allahu qalbahu yawma tamutul qulub. That those any who enliven any the nights any of the Eid, Allah any will enliven any the hearts any of a servant, the day where the hearts any will be died, will be dead. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make it a reason that our hearts any is enlivened any with iman. So earlier ba'da tulu'i syams irtifa, the word any irtifa any refers any to shuruk, the timing any of shuruk. So shuruk any is about any 16 minutes. So if the timing any rising any of the sun any at 7, then after 7 any 16 and we can perform any the Eid any prayer, and this is any sunnah any in our madhab. Now in the Maliki madhab any they say is wajib, yani you cannot any pray before that, but these are some many differences. So the author any mentioned it is sunnah yani to delay. Tamam. Wa ihya'u laylatayhima bil ibadati, that's what we mentioned, yani to enliven any the nights any with ibadah. Wal ghuslu min nisfil layl, and to perform any the ghusl. Ghusl here yani refers to bathing. So when we make any the intention of bathing, and we say I make any the intention to bathe the bath of Eidul Fitri or Eidul Adha. So this bathing any is because of the day, not because any of the prayer, because any of the day. And it can begin by nisfil layl. Nisfil layl any is the middle any of the night. So we can any perform any this bath any with the intention. Nawaitu ghusl al-Eid lillahi ta'ala. In Arabic any this one any we say I make the intention any to bathe the day any of Eid for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wa tatayyub wa tazayyun, it is a sunnah yani that we wear the perfume, that we cleanse any ourselves, wear something nice. Tazayyun yani good clothes, nice clothes. It is a sunnah yani that we display the ni'mah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from the clothing any that Allah has given us. So this is any the time any that we wear nice any clothing. This is a sunnah lil qa'idi wal khariji wal kibari wal sirari. So it is for everybody, whether any a person is going any to stay at home, or a person any who is going out, of kibar sirar yani adult children, lil musalli wa ghayrihi, for those any who are attending any the prayers, for those who are not attending the prayers. So all the sunnahs any are applicable any to everyone, are applicable to everyone. So wearing any perfume, wearing any nice clothes is applicable any to everyone, whether they are going out of their house or they are not going out of their house, whether they are going any to the prayers or not going to the prayers, whether they are adults or they are children. So it is a sunnah yani for everyone. Wa khurujul ajuz bi badlatin bila tibin, and it is also yani recommended yani for old women yani to perform the Eid prayer. Bi badlatin, badla yani meaning these are clothes any that are worn any in the houses, clothes any that are worn in the houses, meaning these are not any clothes any that are nice worn any outside. And this is for al-ajuz. Al-ajuz here any refers any to old women. Bila tibin, without any wearing perfume, So when comes any to young woman, and it is not recommended for young woman any to attend any prayer. It is not any recommended. Now, what is recommended any is for old woman. But nowadays any in our society any all these things any are not any applied. Nowadays, when there is any an opening where woman any can attend, and you find any everyone any attends regardless any whether they are old or they are young. But here any the author any mention any this differentiation any. If all people any it is recommended. Why any old any and young? Of course, all these things any is to avoid any fitna. All these things to avoid fitna, because when there is any a lot of people in the congregation and men any are present, the fear any of free mixing is there, and likewise, and people any might look here and might look there and look any at the beauty any of a young woman any, for example, and the perfume any that she's wearing and so on and so forth. So all these things any can have any effect any on the men any who are looking any at her. So Islam taught us any the importance any to stay away any from situation any that we might any be the reason for certain any sins any to be committed, or we might any be in a situation anywhere we are the victims any of such any situation that sins any are committed any in this blessed day. So I mentioned earlier that it is not any the thing any that is happening any in our country today, because free mixing any in our country any is something that is rampant everywhere you go, wherever any you are, whether you are in the masjid or you are outside any the masjid. So this is something any maybe when we read any the books any of our ulama, sometimes any we might be shocked any to see what actually any they meant any when they say wal ajuz any why ajuz. He is saying any that it is only recommended any for old woman any to come. What about any young woman? What he's trying to say is that young woman any not at all any recommended any to observe, unless any if there is any strict any restriction where there is no mixing, everything any is covered any, for example, at one angle and so on and so forth, and there is no any fitna, then only any it can be recommended. But otherwise, the original ruling any is it is not any recommended any for them. So for young woman, it is better for them any to pray at home. So if a young woman any today pray at home with this any intention, she will be rewarded by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for this intention and this practice. So this is any the difference any between a person who knows any ahkam and a person any who does not know. So if you are a young woman, you know this ruling, so you should abstain, not any to go any to the masjid. You pray at home, and that is better. That is any better any in terms any of rewards. But some people any they do not understand, and they thought that no matter what any praying any at the masjid any is much any better than praying at home. Yes, praying any at the masjid is better yani for the men. Praying at the masjid is better for the men any especially. But any for women any there are other rulings any, they are not the same as men any praying any in the masjid. So he mentioned wal bukur li ghayril imam, it is a sunnah yani to come into the masjid early li ghayril imam. But as for the imam, it is not recommended. The imam any comes later, yani when the times any for khutbah, when the times any for prayers, then he comes in. Not any sit any at the mimbar any after fajr and wait any for the prayer. No, this is not sunnah for the imam. So the imam come late. This is any to increase in haibah. So when the imam any comes any at the later time, this will increase any in awe. This is any the thing about any the imam. Likewise, any pertaining to Jum'ah prayers. Also, we mentioned that it is not the sunnah for the imam to come early for Jum'ah. So, if you are the khatib, do not any sit any in the masjid when you are giving a khutbah later. This is not any recommended. So, when do the khatib any comes into the masjid? The khatib comes to the masjid once any the adhan any is, once any the adhan any has been called out. والبكور لغير الإمام والمشي ذهابا والرجوع بطريق آخر أقصر كما في سائر العبادات. So now any the author any mention was والمشي ذهابا والرجوع بطريق آخر. It is a sunnah to walk any to the masjid. It is a sunnah to walk to the masjid. If a person any lives any a bit far, it is a sunnah any to walk. It is a sunnah to walk unless any if the distance any is too far, that you might take hours any to get to the masjid. But if distance any is not any too far, it is recommended any then that a person any walks, because at the end of the day, walking any carries any more rewards any than riding. Walking any carries more rewards. The hadith of the Prophet ﷺ pertaining any to walking is known. Every step any that we take any, Allah any will forgive any our sin. Allah any will increase any the degrees, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive any our sin. So there are many things any that is given any by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what you call it, pertaining any to walking. And also of course in the hadith, there is a hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam where the Prophet mentioned wa tawha wa antum tamshuna wa alaykumus sakinah. The Prophet mentioned yani come into the masjid while you are walking, wa alaykumus sakinah, and always and you have tranquility. Do not any hasten, do not any walk in a haste, but walk any with sakina, yani relax. In our language any we say walk any in a relaxing manner. This is any the sunnah any of going any to the masjid. Then the author any mentioned go any in one direction and go back any to the other any direction. Type what is any the reason? Because you see, when we walk, the earth witness our footsteps. The earth. So whatever things any that we do, they are witnesses. They are witnesses. When we walk any to a particular place, our footsteps and the earth that our footsteps and steps, they will be witness any for us yawm al-qiyamah. So the more any footsteps any we make, and the more any places any that we walk any for this form of ibadah, we will attain any more rewards any from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we will have any more witness. We will have any more witnesses. This is what any the Quran any is saying. Arjuluhum bima kanu yaksibun. Yani Allah mentioned any that their hands any will become the witness, their legs any will become any their witness any yawm al-qiyamah. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and when coming into the masjid, he will take any one way, and return and he will take any another. He will take any another way, any that is shorter, because going any has any more rewards any when comes any to the footsteps. Kama fi sa'il ibadat, and likewise any in other forms any of ibadah. طيب. Then the author any mentioned والإسراء في النهر والإسراء في النهر والتأخير في الفطر. So there is any a difference any between Eidul and Fitri and Eidul Adha. So there is any a difference. Now, and it is based on the hadith any of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What is any the wisdom any behind it? Because Eidul Adha, there is any animals any of sacrifice. After any we perform any our prayers, we will perform any sacrifice. So in this any situation, it is a sunnah for us any to hasten any a bit any when comes to Eidul Adha, but not any in Eidul Fitri. Eidul Fitri is a different situation. Eidul Fitri, after any the prayers and khalas, yeah, it's just what you call it, we engage any one another any in visiting and so on. But when it comes to Eidul Adha, there are work that need to be done. There are animals that needed and need to be slaughtered. There are people who are waiting. There are people who are poor who are waiting for the meat that is to be slaughtered. So it is a sunnah that there must be a bit of hastiness when it comes to Eidul Adha. But when it comes to Eidul Fitri, it is a sunnah that we delay a bit. Wala aklu fihi qablaha wa tamrun wa witrun. It is a sunnah fi Eidul Fitri that a person before the prayers eat from the tamr, these dates, and to eat it in witr, in odd number, 1 or 3, 5. It is a sunnah before we go out for our prayers. Why? Because this is Eidul Fitri. Eidul Fitri. The word fitr meaning that we are breaking from our fast, because there's no more fasting. So by eating in the morning, it is a sunnah, as a sign that we are breaking, that we are not fasting from the beginning of the day. But not in Eidul Adha. Eidul Adha, it is not a sunnah for us to eat, because the sunnah of eating comes after prayers. The sunnah of eating comes after prayers. It is a sunnah that we eat from the udhiyah, from the animal that is slaughtered. So that is why also any part of the wisdom is then we hasten yani in Eid al-Adha, not any in Eid al-Fitri. ويكبر في ركعة الأولى قبل القراءة سبعا يقينا مع رفع اليدين بين الاستفتاح والتعوذ. So now any the author and he speaks any about performing the Eid any prayers. So Eid al-Fitri and we say usalli Eid al-Fitri lillahi ta'ala, or usalli sunnata Eid al-Fitri lillahi ta'ala, Eid al-Adha lillahi ta'ala. I pray the sunnah of Eid al-Adha for the sake of Allah, or Eid al-Fitri for the sake of Allah. Tamam, makmuman, as a makmum. So when we perform any of the prayers, we do yani the takbir, yani after takbiratul ihram, before what you call it, the recitation of Surah Al-Fatiha, we perform 7 times any of takbir. Yani once any we do takbir, Allahu Akbar, we recite iftitah, Allahu Akbar kabira, alhamdulillah kathira, subhanallah bikatam wasila. And then yani the Imam yani does any another 7 times, Allahu Akbar. In between any 7 times and he reads subhanallah, alhamdulillah, wa la ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar. Then any after any 7 times, then ta'awuz and Fatiha. Then ta'awuz and Fatiha. Wa fi thaniyati khamsan. In the second any rak'ah any 5 takbir. Naam. First any rak'ah 7 takbir. Second rak'ah 5 takbir. Naam. وَلَا يُكَبِّرُ الْمَسْبُوقِ إِلَّا مَا أَدْرَكَهُ. So if a person and is a latecomer masbuq, so he only does any the takbir what is balanced. Any, for example, and he comes and the Imam and he is doing in the last 2 takbir. So the Imam say Allahu Akbar, then and he does any takbiratul ihram, then he follows any Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Khalas. After the Imam stops the takbir, the masbuq and he do not continue. The masbuq and he do not any continue. Thus any he listen any to the recitation of the Imam after that. Because some people and he might be thinking that I'm a masbuq, I only done 2 any of the Imam, so I need to do another 5. No, because this is a sunnah, this is not any wajib. So we follow any the Imam and he does takbir, we follow the Imam stops takbir, we stop any the takbir. Then any the author and he mentioned wa qira'atu qaf, and it is a sunnah yani that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and he used any to recite suratul qaf. And Surah Al-Qaf and the recitation of Surah Al-Qaf in Eid prayer, Wallahu alam, and I think nobody any does it any anymore. Today we have never heard, for example, Imam and he recites Surah Al-Qaf in the first rak'ah. The situation that we are in and today, even in Eid, you recite Sabih Isma Rabbikal A'la, people consider this need to be long. What about and you read in Surah Al-Qaf? So this is what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to recite any in Eid. So he said wa qira'atu qaf waqtarabat iqtarabat as-sa'atu wa inshaqqa al-qamar. This is Surah Al-Qamar. So the first rak'ah in Surah Al-Qaf, second rak'ah in Surah Al-Qamar. Naam. First rak'ah in Surah Al-Qaf, second rak'ah in Surah Al-Qamar. Aw al-a'la wal ghashiyah. This usually and this is what we recite. Al-a'la wal ghashiyah. Sabih isma rabbikal a'la first rak'ah. Hal ataka hadithul ghashiyah second rak'ah. Wa yaqulu bayna kulli takbiratain al-baqiyatu salihat. Al-baqiyatu salihat subhanallah walhamdulillah wa la ilaha illallah wallahu akbar sirran, yani sirran any meaning in a way any that is silent, wadi'an yumnahu ala yusrahu bainahuma. So every time when we raise our hand, we put our hands right any on top of the left, raise again. Every time when we do takbir and we raise any our hand, so in between any we recite subhanallah walhamdulillah wa la ilaha illallah allahu akbar. The rest any of the prayer any is the same as normal prayers. The rest of the prayers any is the same as normal prayers. So when comes any to the Eid prayers any, no issue, very easy. Summa khataba khutbatain. The author any mentioned khataba khutbatain. Khatib any does any to khutbah yajlisu qablahuma jilsatan khafifatan. Before any he stands up any for the first khutbah, he sits down any for a while. He sits down any for a while as a fasil to differentiate any between the prayers any and the khutbah. And this is a sunnah. Wa yadhkuru fihima ma yaliqu. Then when he speaks any in the khutbah any he speaks any what is required any for him any to speak. So it is important any to speak any about taqwa, iman, the adab any of ziyarah. For example, when it comes to Eid al-Fitri, the importance any of obeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the istiqamah in amal after Ramadan. This is usually the content any of the khutbah in Eid al-Fitri. Now any we have completed Ramadan, so whatever we have benefited from Ramadan, do not any make it into a waste. How are we able any to continue this endeavor until any next any Ramadan comes. When Idul Adha we speak about the sacrifice of Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salam, the importance of sacrifice, the importance of yaqeen in Allah, the importance in faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in obeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in taqwa, in iman. So these are the contents that usually we speak about in khutbah, about death. Time is short, life is short. One day we return to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Speaks about Yawm al-Qiyamah, to remind any people about their obligations. Aywa. وَيَذْكُرُ فِيهِمَا مَا يَلِيقُ وَيُكَبِّرُ فِي الْأُولَى تِسْعًا وَفِي الثَّانِيَةِ سَبْعًا وَلَاءً. So for the khatib, when he begins the first khutbah, he does takbir. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. This is called wala'an, wala. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. This is the way he recites the takbir. Not Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. This is not the way. It's Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. So first khutbah, the first khutbah sab'an, afwan tis'an, 9. Then second khutbah sab'an, wala'an, continuously. So this is pertaining to the khutbah. So the khutbah of the Eid, it comes after the prayers. So we perform our prayers, and then we perform the khutbah. Then the author mention when comes to takbir. He said, فَصْلٌ يُكَبِّرُ غَيْرُ الْحَاجِ بِرَفْعِ الصَّوْتِ إِنْ كَانَ رَجُلًا مِنْ غُرُوبِ الشَّمْسِ لَيْلَةَ الْعِيدَيْنِ فِي الطَّرِيقِ وَنَحْوِهَا. So now the author mention when comes to the takbir. Now we are in Eidul Fitri. For example, today is the end of Ramadan. Tomorrow is Eidul Fitri. So it is a sunnah that we do takbir. When we do takbir? After the setting of the sun. So after the sun set, we can start to do our takbir. So we perform our Maghrib prayers, and after Maghrib we perform takbir. This is called takbir mursal. Takbir mursal. Takbir mursal meaning it is not binded to prayers. It is a sunnah that you do takbir at any point of time. Meaning when you are walking, when you are in your house, when you go outside, when you are on the way to the market, and all these things. When you are in the market or you are in the masjid, it is a sunnah to do takbir at any time. This is called mursal. Mursal. So for Eidul Fitri, it is takbirul mursal. Eidul Fitri is takbir mursal. So it begins by the setting of the sun. The setting of the sun. And it ends when the imam performs the Eid prayer. Type. This is pertaining to Eidul Fitri. But when comes to Eidul Adha, the opinion that we abide to is mentioned by Al-Imam An-Nawawi, for example. We begin the takbir after Fajr on the 9 of Dhul Hijjah. On the 9 of Dhul Hijjah. So this takbir is takbir muqayyad. We perform the takbir after prayers. But when comes to the setting of the sun, now it becomes mursal. So takbir mursal on the 9 of Eidul, the 2 Eid, is sunnah. And all the way until the imams perform the Eid prayer. After that it becomes muqayyad again. So during the days of Tashriq, because it ends until the 3rd day of Tashriq. So it is takbir muqayyad. Meaning muqayyad here, it is binded to prayers. So after we perform any prayers, whether the sunnah prayers or the fard prayers, then it is a sunnah for us to do takbir. It is not a sunnah for us to do continuously at any point of time, unless it is takbir mursal. So takbir mursal specifically is the 9 of the Eid, the 2 Eid. ويتأكد مع الزحمة 3 تكبيرات متواليات ويزيد لا إله إلا الله والله أكبر ولله الحمد. And especially when we are in a zahma, in a place where there are congestion, a lot of people, congested any place, it is a sunnah for us to read the takbir. Although nowadays nobody does it in the market. You don't go to the market, you hear people doing takbir. But last time in the Islamic cities, there are people that use to do takbir during the night of Eid al-Fitri or Eid al-Adha. Today we only listen to the takbir in the masjid only. You go out of the masjid and no takbir. Nobody does any takbir outside the masjid. Nobody. Correct or not? Except in houses. Yes, in the houses. But you don't hear in Singapore, for example, people do takbir in the streets. But if you go other countries in the Middle East, you will listen to people doing takbir, and even they will bring this like a microphone going around and doing takbir, and that is happening. And that is a good Islamic way of reminding people, even in the markets, in the streets, about the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. ويزيد لا إله إلا الله. So salas takbirat mutawaliyat. So salas takbirat, and you say Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, walillahil hamd. We do it 3 times. So ويزيد لا إله إلا الله, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, walillahil hamd. ويندب زيادة Allahu Akbar kabira, alhamdulillah kathira. So usually after 3 times we add this one. Allahu Akbar kabira, alhamdulillah kathira, subhanallah bukratan wa asila. Then also we add La ilaha illallah wa la na'budu illa iyyahu mukhlisina lahu ad-din wa law karihal kafirun ila akhirih. So these are so many additions that we add towards the takbir. So all these things brings about the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It explains about the help of Allah for the Muslims when the Muslims are in the great difficulties. By the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, everything becomes easy for people. ويندب زيادة الله أكبر كبيرا الحمد لله كثيرا سبحان الله بكرة وأصيلا ويستمر إلى تحرم الإمام بصلاة العيدين. And then this continues إلى تحرم الإمام until the Imam says الله أكبر for the Salatul Eidain, whether Eid al-Fitri or Eid al-Adha. So this is takbir mursal, that's what we mentioned. This is called takbir mursal. Wallahu a'lam bis-sawab. Inshallah, and we will stop here, and we will continue in our next lesson, inshallah, in the upcoming week. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Allahumma salli wa sallim ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina azaban nar. Sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.